Hello, I'm Fiona Harvey and I'm going to show you a quick and fun way to press flowers, leaves and grasses. I think the first thing to think about when you're going to press flowers is collecting your plant material and collecting the right plant material. You don't need a fancy garden full of flowers. You can use bought flowers or you can go for a walk and pick wildflowers from the side of the road. And they are great, and grasses and things like that, leaves. So one of the important things to do is to pick them in the morning, and a nice dry morning. You don't want damp flowers, because if there's any extra moisture on the flowers when they're pressed, they will appear, they'll get marks on them, and you don't want that. You want to see them in their full glory. I usually take a carrier bag with me and cut the flowers off and pop them in the bag, and that gives you both hands free to pick more, and also it keeps them cooler and they're not being squashed in the palm of your hand. The equipment you need for this is a microwave, kitchen paper towels, an old book that you maybe don't want to read again, elastic bands and scissors. Years ago when I did this first, you had to have a big press and you put layers of paper and you put your flowers in between them, and then you put this heavy thing on the top and you screwed it all up to make it tight, and you had to wait months to get the result. Whereas this, you'll be able to do it all in the morning and in the afternoon and make something lovely with it. So it's great fun and very easy, and something that all ages can do. You could do it with your kids as long as you keep an eye on them, and granny, I'm a granny, I could do it with my grandsons. So let's see what flowers we have. This I got on my walk this morning, and this is cow parsley, and it's in abundance on the roadsides in a minute, but it's really beautiful. I would say if you pick it, get it into water as soon as possible, because it does droop very quickly. And what I did when I brought this in was I cut the end and popped it in a mug with 1/2 inch of hot water out of the kettle in it, and that gives it a good perk up. The other things I got on the side of the road were buttercups and some daisies and some ivy leaves and things like that, and they're all lovely. And what I would say to you is pick or gather more than you think you're going to need, because you may have a design in your head, but when you come to do it, it might not work or come out of your head the same way, and you might need things, different shapes, and also you might get carried away and you might want to do a whole lot, so make sure you've pressed lots. I walked around the garden and got this little fellow. Okay. I don't know what he's called, but you see the way up here at the top, he's got quite a lot of bells, and I thought that they would just squash all together and you wouldn't see the beauty of them. So what I did was I picked a few out, and trying to get the light right because the sun's very glary this morning. So I picked a few out and thinned it out a bit, and that one will press beautifully. And again, see the lovely shape of the stem. It's nice to have curves. You don't want everything straight and regimental. I also picked some heuchera leaves, and look at the detail on that, and you see the beautiful, beautiful leaf. But even if you don't know what the names of these things are, if you see them in your garden, you'll be able to know that they'll press beautifully. This is the flower of the heuchera. I've got some catmint. I don't know why it's called catmint. Our cat never goes near it. But the bees do, and yesterday we had 4 different types of bees in it, which I thought was great. An acer leaf, which is gorgeous. Okay. and nice and flat, perfect thing to start with. And then I also have these hellebores that, sorry, I'm trying to avoid this sunlight here, which are gorgeous. Now these came out at the beginning of December and they were pure white. It's a great plant, I love it. But you can see this wee pointy bit here would make it difficult to press. So what I'll do is I'll just nip that out. I'll also cut the stem off the back. To make it nice and flat for pressing. Okay. And I just have other bits and pieces. I had some forget-me-nots that grow in from our neighbour's garden. And again, they're nice to press. They're nice and soft. Right, so now I think we shall go and start to press them. Right, now get your piece of kitchen roll, and the first thing to do is to fold it in half. Okay? And that means you know that this is the area to put your plant material on, so that this folds over and covers it nicely. Sometimes it's a good idea to put it in the book and put the things on, and then you don't have to lift it, but I'm going to put it in the book later. Right, so now we will get, I think we'll do some forget-me-not. I'm just going to take these seeds off the bottom and pop it in. Do a couple of those, do a wee short one. And we'll do another one. Okay, making sure not to go over this line. And here's the hellebore that I took the centre, the seed pod out and cut the stem off the back. So we'll set him down here, and then we'll put this wee leaf in, wee heuchera leaf. Let's see him. Okay. Put a nice wee ivy leaf in there, would be lovely. And here, yes, before this wilts anymore, if I've room for it, I will put in this leaf of the cow parsley, because it's lovely wee sort of fern-like leaf. And make sure they're all sort of sitting nicely, because whatever way you put them in is the way they're going to come out. Right. Yeah, I think that's enough for now. Okay, so we'll get our book. Now I have to explain about my book. I borrowed this from my husband, and I said, can I have a book to press flowers in? He says, yes, okay. So I pressed so many yesterday that it sort of exploded and came apart. Well, it didn't explode, but just when I brought it out of the microwave, the pages are not the way they should be. I haven't quite told him yet, but I don't know. I'm sure he'll be alright. He's very good natured. Set this on, press this down gently, fold your book over. So use a book that doesn't matter, and not too thick a book, otherwise the microwave can't penetrate. Oh, hold on, I'm just going to get my elastic bands. Right, then put the elastic bands around it. Okay, now every microwave's different, so what I would suggest is, if you have a very powerful microwave, turn down the power a bit. Mine's just quite an ordinary microwave, so I'm going to pop it in and put it in for a minute. So I'll go and do that now. While that is going through the minute procedure, I'm going to get another section ready to microwave when that one comes out. So I think I'll put these wee bells in. They're very nice, aren't they? And some of this Catmint. Here's a shorter one. Maybe take these wee leaves off. It's lovely to smell this perfume. Maybe take those leaves off too. And there's the microwave ready. So I can put this one in when I take the other one out. Right, so here's the book out of the microwave. Now, if you're doing this with children, please make sure that you lift the book out of the microwave because sometimes it gets hot. This book's warm, but the book might come out hotter. So take the band off and then see if we can find. Here we go. Just peel this off very slowly and very gently. Now, you can see that they are not completely dried out because there's movement in them. You want them firm. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it back in again for another minute. So here's the book out of the microwave for the second time, and we'll have a look and see what it looks like. Yep, good. We're getting there. This look, that's nice and flat, and it's quite papery. So that one's done. This is nearly done. These are a wee bit bendy. I can still feel the end of them. A bit of movement in them. So I'm going to take this off and set it aside. And what I'm going to do now is just put it back in the microwave, just like that, just for 10 seconds. Bring it out, have a look at it. And maybe put it in for another 10 seconds, just depending on how they look when I bring them out. And I'll show you what they should look like when they're done. Right, here they are. I've had them in the microwave a few times at 10 seconds. I always feel it's better to do them for 10 seconds and put them in for another 10 seconds because you can't take time off once you've had them in longer. So here we go. And this is the way you want them. Okay? So they're pressed, but they're also dried. Okay? You can press flowers and they'll be flat. They'll not have all the moisture removed from them. And then I think if you're going to make them into something, then sometimes mould can occur later on. So I always like them to be completely dried. There we go. Okay. So now I'll show you some flowers and leaves that I dried earlier. Right, here's some I pressed earlier. Some little leaves, buttercups and potentilla flowers. That's the clematis. It was very pale pink and it sort of dried to a different colour. Wee candy tuft flowers. This is the Queen Anne's lace. And you can see I did two lots here. This bottom lot is a better colour. I think this must have been slightly damp. Nope, he's not pressed, is he? No, he's not. Don't know what he's doing there. These are the leaves of the Queen Anne's lace cow parsley. This is the little belly thing, and you can see there some of them that I pressed yesterday have too many bells. It's much nicer when they're thinned out and you can see each individual bell. Here's the acer leaf and the catmint, and it's really nice if you can see it on its own. Some of the ilowers are Christmas roses, a big hickory leaf, then some I think it's like a wee geranium, and azalea flowers. So there's quite a lot in the garden or about that you can dry at the minute and press. Here are a few forget-me-nots that I have put in an acrylic coaster case. I tried to make them look like a wee tied bunch, so put a wee knot of garden twig or garden string, on them. These little acrylic you can buy on the internet, and they're very easy to use. You just put the thing in here and click the back on. Here's one I did with some cow parsley, but I think maybe the background's too busy. I think I'd need a plainer background to show the cow parsley off to its true beauty. So that's just a few ideas you can do with them. You can do decoupage, you can do pictures, cards. The uses for them are endless, and I hope you have lots of fun and really enjoy making your pressed flowers. Have fun. Bye.